so it may cost you a Big Ten title. Never root for Michigan.
Good for you.
All right, Star, will you get a picture real quick?
Hey, you give me a camera that's not turned on. I'm not
Sorry. Okay, whenever you're ready.
Okay, I'm already going.
Welcome back to Spartan Nation. So great to be joined by the great George Blaha, the iconic voice, one of my favorite human beings in all the world. George, always a pleasure.
Hondo, thanks for that kind introduction. Wonderful to be on with you.
And it's always football season because we always start, we always do this. And let's get right to it. I love this team, and I'm going to tell you what I like about it. Coming into last season, there were no expectations. And D'Antonio even said to me going in the year, he goes, wow, this is weird for us. We're not used to this. And I said to him the other day, it's back to normal, isn't it? He said, yeah, it is. I think they like the bullseye.
Well, you know, they love the fact that they accomplished something last year that probably most people didn't give them a chance to do, and that's end up with 10 wins and a resounding win in a bowl game. You got so many players back. Obviously, people are expecting big things. I still don't think they get the kind of publicity that they should get, but that's all right. They can have it both ways. A little chip on their shoulders still.
Well, remember, when they went to the Rose Bowl, a lot of people thought had there been a playoff that year, they would have been the national championship against Jameis Winston and Florida State. They weren't even in the top 25 till week 10, George.
Isn't that crazy?
It's nuts, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, let's change the narrative a little bit. I want to ask you, this is a sophomore, junior dominated team. You don't see these very often. A team this good, this young. Man, this program's on a high-ranking trajectory.
Darn right. It's scary if you got to play the Spartans every year. And as scary as the Big Ten East is, the Michigan State Spartans cast a big shadow in that division because of what they're accomplishing right now, and as you say, how young they are.
And when you think about it, the Buckeyes will come here. Michigan comes here. They go to Penn State, always tough in Happy Valley, and then travel out to the land of the Huskers, which won't be easy. But still, it's a manageable schedule in the toughest conference in the Big Ten. I mean, in the country.
Exactly. And I think when you have, well, let me just say this. When I start doing a little research, as we all do, to look at our team and see what we have and what we lost, well, there wasn't much lost. We know that. As a matter of fact, I have never, ever, and I've been doing this a long time, seen a team with that kind of victory total from last year, whether it was 10 in this day and age where you play so many games, or maybe even 8 or 9 back when the teams didn't play as many games, bring back every important part of their team. Look at rushing, passing, tackles, sacks, pass breakups, plus 2 great specialists. Yep. I mean, it's amazing what's coming back here, plus a lot of great coaches coming back.
Let's talk about, they lose Brian Allen, they lose Chris Fry, they obviously lose a defensive end, but they bring back a John Reschke. This is a guy that when he left this program was playing as high as anyone else. This was an NFL player. It's not rare you add a guy back to your program, whether it's a freshman or a transfer, with his ceiling, and all reports out of camp are he's looking great. I don't undersell John Reschke, do you?
I wouldn't either. As a matter of fact, I'm glad to hear you say that, because I believe he's an NFL player as well. I think this kid will play on Sunday, but I'm just happy right now that he's playing on Saturday for MSU.
I agree with you. I want to get into very quickly something I don't think gets enough attention, George. Special teams. In every year, Michigan State, some people say, well, they're too conservative, I wish they did more. But they're always consistent, they're always steady, and I think that's one of the backbones of a D'Antonio program. Your thoughts?
I agree, and you can't win consistently if you don't concentrate on special teams. And that's, you can tell when you walk into that football building and ask any special teams question. Everybody knows that some of their players are probably going to be involved. All the position coaches, a lot of the best players on this squad play on special teams.
Max Bullitt told me the greatest compliment he ever got was not being an All-American. It was being able to play special teams at Michigan State under Mark D'Antonio.
Think about that.
That tells you the mindset, doesn't it?
Exactly.
Very important question for you. Talking, of course, to the great George Blaha, never needs an introduction if you're a sports fan of any kind. But, George, I want to ask you about this team. If they were to lose their entire first string, at every position, they'd still be bowl eligible. When's the last time it's been there the last few years, but this has been now over the last 5 or 6 years in Michigan State. You could lose their entire first string, still be bowl eligible. That speaks to the depth. You know this. Championships are won with depth.
Well, and intelligent recruiting. I mean, this coaching staff, this recruiting group finds players who fit their system and have the right mindset. And it's amazing how they've been able to bring in young men who want to play here, who want to play for Michigan State, even though they know that they might not play right away. As good as they may be, there's an awful lot of football players there.
He is the great George Blaha, the voice of Spartan football, the voice of the Pistons. I'm just proud to call him my friend, one of my favorite people on planet Earth. Thanks, George.
Thanks, Hondo. Wonderful to be on with you.
Thank
Go
you.
Green.